Okay, Virat Kohli has retired from Test cricket since 2011 when he made his debut against the West Indies. He's played 123 Tests for India, scoring 9,230 runs at a batting average of 46.85. In those 123 Tests, he was captain in 68 of them, winning 40, which makes him the most successful Indian Test captain of all time. And in those 68 Tests as captain, he also got 20 centuries, which is also a record. No other Indian Test captain has had as many centuries while captain as Virat Kohli. So, as a captain, he sets records. Only Tendulkar, Dravid and Gavaskar as batsmen have scored more runs for India. Obviously, Sachin Tendulkar scoring 100 Test centuries. So that is a record that Virat Kohli could not achieve. And of course, Virat Kohli did revolutionise how Test cricket was played as on a batting standpoint with his T20 background with the IPL. Really made his name in the IPL. He obviously retired from the T20 international scene last year. He hasn't retired from one-day cricket at this point, although I wouldn't be surprised if at some point within the next 12 months he also retires from the one-day 50-over format. But he was known for his aggressive batting style. He was also known as the very, very aggressive fielder and captain. And there were frequent clashes with opposition batsmen and bowlers, most recently in the Test series against Australia, with his clashes against Costas, for example, the young Australian teenage batsman. They made headlines. He was heavily criticised for some of these clashes, where he overstepped the mark of what is acceptable in cricket, because cricket is seen as a gentleman's game. And there's sledging, and then there's Virat Kohli sledging and Virat Kohli aggression, and it's all well and good being aggressive as a batsman, as a fielder, as a captain, and then there's losing control of these emotions and overstepping the mark, which he has done on many occasions. And that's where people's opinion of Virat Kohli as the player are divided. He does divide opinion. He is controversial. His last Test century did come in the first Test against Australia last November, where he scored 100 not out. That is his last Test century. His batting average, though, over the last 12 to 18 months had fallen away from the 46.85 that we see, as his overall average, to around 20. Now, depending on what Test side he was facing, his batting average does vary. He has a very strong batting average, for example, against Sri Lanka in the high 60s. When facing Sri Lanka, but against other nations it drops down to the low 40s, like against England, for example. So his batting average does vary quite considerably depending on which Test side he is facing. But there's no doubt he did transform how Test batters approach batting, especially with a T20 IPL background where he makes his name, bursts on the scene, gets selected in 2011, and he's played 123 Tests since 2011. It is a shame we won't get to see him in the 5-Test series where England play India this summer. That is a massive shame. But he also joins Rohit Sharma, retiring from the Test setup within a week. So India have lost two of their best batsmen within the space of 5 days at the end of this month. So it's going to be interesting who obviously captains India against England this summer. And it's going to be interesting to see if he does play in any of the one-day internationals against England this summer as well, because he hasn't officially retired from the 50-over format, but he has retired from international T20. He's now retired from Test cricket, and he will go down as one of the more controversial players to have played Test cricket, obviously with some of his aggressive antics on the field and at the crease. But at the same time, there's no doubting his ability as captain, his ability as a batsman, his leadership qualities. But he did overstep the mark. And when you compare him to Tendulkar, Dravid and Gavaskar, they are completely different players. And they also captained India. MS Dhoni, he is in a complete contrast to previous Indian captains. But he did transform Indian cricket. A lot of his generation did, with the IPL and the transformation of how Test batsmen approach batting. A lot of batsmen now do score centuries quite quickly. They're more aggressive in their batting with reverse sweeps and paddle sweeps and hitting for six more often and going after the bowling earlier. And so Virat Kohli was one of those players who revolutionised the game in the last 15, 20 years. So he will go down as one of the greatest Test players of all time. in his spell as a Test batsman. But his average is not as high as some, and his overall runs acquired are not as high as some. There are some other players who've got far more runs at Test level with far better batting averages, but at the same time he is the most successful Indian captain of all time. So there we go. Virat Kohli has retired from Test cricket. It is not often that I do a cricket video on the channel these days. Thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts on Virat Kohli, the player, in the comments section below. He does divide opinion. Obviously Indians are mad for him, but every other cricketing nation has their views on Virat Kohli. But if you want to, let's say we're putting together a T20 side, you would want Virat Kohli in your side rather than playing against him. He's that kind of irritant at times, where you want him irritating the opposition rather than irritating you. That's that kind of player. But there we go. Thank you very much for watching. Place your thoughts in the comments section below, and I will have some more content for you all very, very soon.